She was determined to live.
She was cancer-free.
I feel like I was in really good hands, and I can't say enough about the treatment that I got.
Things do change, nothing stays static. A new day will come.
Welcome to Hope is Here. I'm Carla Hill. When you have children, you are naturally inclined to want all the best for them: health, happiness, and eventually independence. Parents of special needs children are no different. Yet removing the barriers to independence is a much bigger challenge. Here's how one family, a very special foundation, and a forward-thinking hospital system are empowering individuals with intellectual disabilities with hope, confidence, and a sense of self-worth.
These boys, when they came to my life, there is absolutely no doubt that they changed my life. They made me a better mom. They made me a better friend. They just made me better, a better person. Like, I didn't know the meaning of patience. And I would have never thought in my wildest dreams that I will have 3 boys with these unique abilities and special needs, because they are very special.
Oh God!
It's your mother.
Oh God, here we go.
It's your mother. My name is Dorcas Gonzalez, and I have 3 amazing, interesting boys.
Well, the 3 boys have Fragile X, which is an inherited genetic condition dealing with intellectual disability. It puts them within the autism spectrum.
Once Michael came to my life and I started seeing different behaviors and not being able to express himself, not being able to say a word. And then I started building up that patience. And God helped me through it all and still helps me through it all. And then Alexander came to my life, and it was such a beautiful baby, very calm, very soothing. But then again, then he started growing a little bit more and having those times with he couldn't express himself, and that is when other behaviors come into play.
The whole picture came together when our middle son Alexander had a seizure, and with that seizure, somebody realized that, hey, maybe all 3 boys have some type of developmental delay, an intellectual disability, now fall into this autism spectrum.
This is my purpose. I realized that this is my purpose. So when you realize that this is your purpose given by God, then you make the best out of it. You really do. The kids, I never treated them like special needs kids. I treated them equal, like any other kid that I will have in my house. And when they will ask me to get them something as simple as that, I would tell them, okay, let's go together and let's do it. But next time, you're gonna do it by yourself.
No. No.
I'm gonna show you, and then next time, you're gonna do it by yourself.
Put the detergent
And whatever you put here in your little mind to do, you can do it. Say, I can do it. And I used to tell them, I used to put them in front of the mirror when they were little and do affirmations. I can. That's what they could do. I can. I am the best. Alexander is the best. Michael is the best. Joseph is the best. There's nothing that you don't put in your mind that you cannot do.
And so we pushed them. We pushed them to do everything they can. And so we created a program at Baptist Health to help those young adults. And so we began with work experience, getting them exposed to what real life is about. Work is very important. Work is fulfilling. Work gives you something to do. Work gives you the ability to contribute back to your society. And also, it creates independence for you because it allows a lot of growth in your personal life, as well as allows you the finances to become independent as well. So Michael works at the distribution center at Baptist Health. It's what we call the supply chain.
When I get there, I clock in, I do boxes.
Alexander works at the berry farms down in the Redlands and Homestead, and he helps there. That is an agritourism location.
I like to learn, yeah. I like to learn.
Joseph, he is working at the cafeteria at Baptist Hospital in Miami, and he works there on Fridays as part of his work experience with a job coach or a shadow that helps him and really understand what employment is about, what his roles are, so he can accomplish the goals of being an employee in the cafeteria at Baptist Hospital.
Right on there.
So I think the biggest thing is that makes me so proud of my 3 boys is the fact that I was told that they were not going to be able to talk, and they speak 2 languages, and I proved them wrong. And I said, what? No, my kids are going to talk. And the fact that they're able to be so functional and be able to go to work, do things on their own, that I see that they can have their own lives. I think it just makes us happy, proud, so proud of them.
I want to welcome Dr. Anthony Gonzalez and his wife Dorcas to our show. Thank you so much for joining us, Gonzalez family. Dr. Gonzalez, what does work do for those with special needs beyond just the pride it probably instills in them?
Well, obviously, work gives all of us a purpose, gives us something to wake up and do. It's our mission. It's our calling. Everybody has a calling. Everybody has a desire. As a youngster, you want to be an astronaut, or you want to be an athlete and be a movie star. But you want to be able to wake up and have a purpose and have something to do. And when you have nothing to do, whether you're let's say a mainstream adult, or you have nothing to do and you're somebody with intellectual challenges, then that becomes an emotional problem, a psychological problem, leads to mental illness. So we see it. We see it in our own children, the difference, especially in the pandemic, where we had our first child, got caught with the pandemic at home, and that period of time was just not great. And now back at work, he wakes up, 2-3 hours before work time. He's ready to go 2 hours before work because that is what he wants to do. That is his calling. He takes great joy in what he's doing and what he's contributing to the facility where he's working.
What was it like years ago when you were trying to mainstream your first son? Did you get kickback? How did you deal with that challenge?
You advocate and you advocate and you advocate a little bit more, and you're just there. I remember going to the region and begging for them to be able to give me the individualized educational plan so we can have that meeting, so we can place them in the right classroom, in the right setting. So it was very challenging. It was very challenging because it was nobody knew so much about it. So it was very difficult. But because of being persistent and consistent and advocating and making it happen for them, I think a lot of the same teachers and the principal I felt that not only I was learning, but they were learning from me and learning how to deal with my child.
I now want to introduce Lily DeMoya, CEO and president of the DeMoya Foundation, an empowering organization that has helped the Gonzalez sons over the years find employment, along with countless other individuals with unique abilities. Lily, how did you come about helping young adults with special needs, and who was your inspiration?
So, when my son graduated from high school, he came to us and said, am I registered to go to college? And that just was not a possibility at that moment. My son is very determined, defiant, stubborn. There is no. And he will always just go forward to what he wants to do. And he motivated me and gave me the drive to spend the last 25, 28 years of my life in the disability world. And so I went out and I did all this research and put together a program. I was able to get FIU to open a program, which is a transition program for students with developmental disabilities. And he was the first graduate of that program. But when he came out of that program, he went straight to work for my husband's company, which is a bridge and road construction company. Since he was a little boy, he wanted to be an engineer. So there was no question that he had a job. This was a family business. But when he went to work and I saw the gaps, I saw the lack of resource, the lack of support for him and for the employees. I realized that we had this huge bridge that we needed to cross to get him to the other side to be successful. And so I went on my own personal journey to put supports in place and make sure that that would happen. It took about 2 to 3 years to really get the staff, the employer, the surrounding support around him, the coworkers, and himself to a place where I felt he was really contributing to the workplace and that it was beneficial to him. But that wasn't enough for me. I felt that there was a whole world out there of young adults like him that did not have the support that I had been able to put into place. And so I just did a small fundraiser, created a board, and put my brain to work. And I put together a very customized employment model that would provide support not just to the employee, but to the employer. It's about long-term employment outcomes that is going to lead them to independence.
Dorcas, the Des Moines Foundation calls those with special needs, they have these unique abilities. What are the unique abilities or the superpowers, if you will, of your sons?
The superpower, well, each one of them they're completely different because in a household, everybody's different, right? But Michael is very, I think it has empowered him so much for the way he's very social, he's shy, he's timid, but once he loves what he does, he is like a sunshine. And when you ask him, Michael, do you love where you at? He says, I love it. Like, I love it. He loves it, being able. He feels so important in the distribution center that he's able to distribute all these different boxes and all these different things that they send to either offices, to the hospitals. And he feels very proud of that. And Joseph is a social butterfly, and he loves. He goes there on Fridays, and he works there only 4 hours because it's in the FIU Embrace program for now, and he loves it. He just loves the fact that he's able to talk to people, socialize. He's learning how to, everybody that comes around, the nurses, the doctors that come to have their lunch at the cafeteria, he already knows what they're going to eat. So he starts preparing it once they start walking inside the cafeteria. And Alexander is very happy. He had to stop for a while because he had a seizure, but he's starting to, now he just went to the farm last week. And little by little, he's working at the Berries farm. And little by little, he is getting incorporated into his job again. So we're very happy about that.
The landscape is slowly changing and giving way to opportunities for those with special abilities. Later on, we will talk about just how far we've come. But first, I want to shed light on another foundation that is giving opportunities to those who are striving to work towards independence.
I love my job. I feel good. Fantastic.
I like my job very much because I'm independent, because of my family and friends.
Baptist Health sponsors the WOW organization. They have for several years. And the corporate support team decided that they wanted to participate in the community outreach program. And we decided from that we wanted to provide a couple of positions for individuals with disabilities within our department.
So adults with developmental disabilities have a strong desire and a right to live meaningful and productive lives just like everybody else. Unfortunately, there's still many misconceptions about this population that really make it difficult for them to have opportunities in the workplace. In 2022, only 21.3% of persons with a disability were employed. So we want our community to experience individuals' strengths and weaknesses in the workplace.
We now have Annie, who is the clerical support for the executive office. We also have David, who supports the cafe, and Jerome, who also supports the corporate cafe. The corporate support team also participates in their annual holiday party celebration.
The partnership that we've had with Baptist Health South Florida has been such a fundamental part in the lives of Anna, David, and Jerome. They have thrived, they have become so much more independent, and we really see that they have a sense of purpose that comes from it.
As a leader, I couldn't be more proud and honored to participate in this initiative and lead a team that has so embraced this important program.
Oh my goodness, what joy that this brings to all of us. But when we talk about children with special needs, we do have to think about and talk about the hard questions. You know, as a young mother or father who struggles with the worries that come with not only being a new parent, but navigating the world of special needs. And on the flip side, you become an older parent, and we're living longer, we're eating better, you know. What do you think about now as you face your mortality and think about, and this is for all of you, and you think about your children's future and securing that future?
Yeah, we've given it a lot of thought. That's why we work so hard today in trying to create as much independence as possible and really limiting the crutch that they may use us as. So they can begin to prepare for themselves when they're alone. Of course, there's, a lot of planning, estate planning that goes into that, and custodial planning and really succession planning. But we worry about that, of course. That's something that we worry about. And since there are all three special needs, we don't have a sibling who could oversee them. And would have the expected same life expectancy as them. So we have to reach out to others, extended family, people that have been childhood friends, to help both on the custodial side and oversight, as well as on the the management of the finances side, so that there is appropriate care for them long term. But yes, that's a reality, something we are concerned about. But we vocalize that with them. We explain that, and they understand it. They don't want to believe it. They don't want to voice it back. But they understand that we can't be there forever.
Yeah. We always talk about it, and we said, Mom and Dad are not going to be here for the rest of your lives. And they say, no, you're always going to be here. And of course, for them to understand even more, like as simple as preparing a lunch or getting ready or making their own food, it's things that, just imagine that we're not here. What would you do? And it's the toughest thing. I guess as a mother, it's even more. And I think Lily can understand that. I become very sentimental when it comes to that, because it's definitely very difficult. But at the same time, it's believing and having faith that everything is going to be okay. We do our job. We do what we need to do. We prepare them for the future when we're not here, when we're not around. But we have the faith that God is going to take care of it.
Thank you for being so vulnerable and talking with our audience about that. Lily, what is your message to parents when they come to you with these concerns at the foundation?
Yeah, like Dorcas said, it's very emotional because you obviously worry about what's going to happen the day that you're not here. And again, at our house, we talk about it. Of course, when I tell my son, what are you going to do when I'm not here? He's got all kinds of answers. He's going to call Uber Eats, and he's going to call Uber, and he's going to call his brother, and he's got this all under control. But the reality is that it's a very, very scary thought, because no matter how much you prepare them and no matter how much you try to make them independent, in your heart as a mom, you know that there's no one who's going to do what you do for them today. But you have to have faith and hope that the support system that you put into place is going to step in and do the best you can, the best they can. But more importantly, you have to prepare them. And that's what I tell parents. You have to prepare them to their maximum potential. You can't underestimate them. You have to push and you have to let go. But what I tell parents is exactly that. I tell them, think about where you want your son or daughter to be the day you're not here, because one day you will not be here. And you need to know before you're gone. You need to prepare them, and you need to know what their maximum potential is before you're gone. You don't want to find out later what they can't do. You want to find out now everything they can do.
I appreciate all of you so much. We appreciate you all I'm getting emotional myself. But this show is called Hope is Here. And for each one of you, what is your message of hope for parents or families that have children with special needs, new parents in particular that have children with special needs? What is that message of hope that each one of you would like to impart to our audience today?
I will say for parents to continue doing their work, to continue challenging them, making them better in this society, incorporating him, including them everywhere they go, everything that they do, and to teach them. And there is hope. There is hope that one day they are going to succeed. Because if I look back, like I was telling my husband the other night, I said, if we look back at all the days that a lot of the counselors that they told us that we don't think that Michael is never gonna be able to go out there and have a job. And I will always answer with a lot of respect. I know that the day that he loves something, he's going to be able to do it and he will succeed. So parents, be persistent, be consistent, have faith. It can be done. They have the potential. They all have a purpose and they all have a calling, and it can be done. And look for that support system, because it takes a village. It's not only you by yourself, you cannot do it. But when you start, look at all the resources that we have now. Go for it, and advocate for them and make them successful. Have hope.
That is so powerful. They all have a calling. We all have a calling, every human being. Lily, what is your message of hope for new parents?
So my son is 32 years old, and I have been involved in the disability world for, like I said, like 28 years. And people don't realize that the first law that actually gave our kids a right, and any rights, to get a public education, for services, was in 1975. That law did not really trickle down until society and into our communities until the 80s. So it wasn't that long ago. And we have come such a long way. And new parents need to understand that the road has been paved, and that now they need to get on board and move forward, never leave any stone unturned. That has always been my mantra. Until I have all the information that I can possibly get my hands on, I don't make decisions. And looking at everything that is out there now that wasn't there before, don't get stuck in the now. Look into the future. There is hope for the future. There is journey into the future, and you need to always look forward and never look backwards. And just one day at a time, one step at a time, and maybe 3 steps forward and 1 backwards, but then you move forward again. There is a lot of hope, and you never give up hope. You can never give up hope.
Oh my gosh, that's it. That is the message of this show. Thank you all so much for your message of hope, giving young adults with special needs the opportunity to be included in the community while finding their confidence and learning new skills. I mean, it is a wonderful mission, and I commend all of you for continuing this vital work. Thank you so much for being here with us today on Hope is Here, and thank you for joining us today on Hope is Here. Thank you, everyone. What a powerful show. Thank you.